Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Life Unscripted 2025. This year's series focuses on how you can actually become a student for life rather than over academic session in order to achieve optimum success. And if this is your first time on my channel, hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to get a notification when the next content drops. And if it is your first time on Facebook, go ahead and click on that follow button because that is one of the best decisions you're going to make in your life this year and beyond. And I'm going to share with you why in this series. So, in this series, like I told you, over the time in the series, we have been able to deal with a lot of topics. But today, I want to totally concentrate on this level of persons, graduates, parents, every individual as much as this connects to, on why you are confused when you stand alone all through, right? In the world, even after being taught in school on how to stand out, right? Because most of the time, whatever we were taught in school does not have synchronization when we come out of life. And one of the things is what I'm going to share with you today. You know, those your undergraduate friends, you know, that your parents and guardian, you know, that education is to educator, you know, those sets of persons that needs to be here. Tag them in the comment section. Let them subscribe to my YouTube channel right now so that and click the notification bell, and of course you can copy the link and share because the envy is less when everyone is succeeding. Now, one of the most critical things that we struggle with in life is how to collaborate. And why do we struggle with how to collaborate? It's because of the concept based on the orientation we were given all through our life during different seasons of our life, both from when we were born, while we are at home, when we went to school, when we are done with university or college, and then when we went to church, different places. I mean, the environment is so saturated that competition is the top of the game. And so we have now been able to fail on how to collaborate in order to expand our results. And I'm going to share with you why God also said that one chase 1,000, two put 10,000 to flight. All right. Now, basically, you need to totally understand. I'm going to take you back to the very beginning. Now, this is why you are struggling to collaborate. When you were growing up, when you were much younger, the environment where you are is where your uncle and your dad is struggling to be able to possess a plot of land. So they did all sorts of things, and you were totally observing the conversations, the dragging, the whole scenario about trying to outsmart people in order to get a plot of land, doing all sorts of things to actually get those things, right? That is number one. Now, the second one is that when you went to church, they basically, most churches, right, have actually taught you that let your village people that are trying to fire you fire now, and you are praying, and then maybe they will tell you let your enemies die, and then you know those kind of things. You're just focus, what you are focusing on actually expands. And because you are focusing on your enemies, you cannot exercise love. You cannot actually bring out the light that is inside of your life because of what you are focusing on. And then when you went to school, they told you cover your book so that Nkechi, Chika, Chioma will not see your book. That's one of the things. And then when they give you projects, they make it so competitive in such a way that even in group projects, you are struggling to be the first, whereas you were given a group project to work with one another. But because of the concept of cover your book so that your chica will not be better than you, right? You have those things are concepts, those things are programs that are in your brain that have worked over time. Even when you come home during those school sessions, you will now see that your mom will tell you, does Chika carry two heads? Why is she making first position and you are not? And all of a sudden, you start going after Chika. For church, you start going after your enemies. And for that particular time, you observe your daddy and your uncle struggling for a land, you begin to see a way that people can actually get away with things, doing all sorts of things. And over time, when you now come out, you now hear the word of God where you say, dominate the world. You start fighting with people instead of fighting for your dreams. And so that is why you need to pay attention to this series, because this has particularly done more harm than good. So if you are struggling, when you now come out of this space, you carry your certificate, you will now see that your friend that you saw in school, you guys are not even working in 𝗓𝗡. When you see other, you just act as though you have not seen them before, because you think that probably your class, you are better than the person, or you are outsmarting the person. Those things in the field of life as an entrepreneur, right? Those things does not work that way. Even when your competitor, a healthy one at that, in business comes in, it is a needed collaborator to help you study systems, to know how to stand in your uniqueness. And that is why when you focus on the fight for your dreams, you will now be able to know how to navigate people in order to win and multiply your result. But the reverse is the case. Because of those orientation, because of those observation and the environment, you think that your village people are looking for you, that is anything that happens to you, there is someone that is responsible for it. And what you are going to grow, you're not going to grow responsibility mindset, you're going to grow entitlement, insecurity, and you never experience the other side of life because your environment is clustered with your village people that they taught you. Now, today, people are now fighting with the people that they need to actually collaborate with in order to multiply their result, because of this program, because of this concept. Until you understand what I'm sharing with you, you won't come out of it. You will keep struggling to collaborate with people, and you keep competing unnecessarily. I always advise people that your best competition is yourself. Why is it yourself? Because you need to, what forms competition is that there are challenges that you need to face that demands your best. And the moment you begin to understand that every challenge and everything is demanding your best to come out, you can now be able to ask, who am I meant to become that this particular challenge or situation is demanding? Nobody is chasing you. You are not getting first position. You're not trying to outsmart people in order to win. And as a matter of fact, with an improved knowledge, I learned even from the word of God that the dominion they gave us in Genesis chapter 1 is not to dominate people, it's actually to dominate creatures. What are creatures? The birds of the air, those particular creepy things that God has made available, that we are meant to inspire people and dominate creatures. We are creators that are born to collaborate. That is why our mode of creation and from generation to generation comes out of connection. So you need to be able to understand the fact that you need collaboration. And until you understand that the foundation of your orientation did not encourage that, today you are going to make conscious effort to be able to know that this line of action is not what it is. And the first thing you have to do is to think about, who am I called to be? Regardless of what the whole world has to say. Because the essence of you going to school and the essence of education, like I shared with you, is to bring forth that which God has invested in you, to unravel those capacities in order to build capabilities to solve complex situations in life, not in the school. So that's why you need to understand that when you know that your village people is not chasing you, that you don't need your enemies to die to excel, that you don't need those things, because when they said light and darkness does not have collaboration, the absence of darkness is actually light. So the moment when there is all darkness, that's why sometimes you say, life is not fair. But I always tell people, life is not meant to be fair. Even Jesus at the beginning of creation met darkness. That was why he declared light. And so he has actually made us light of the world and salt of the earth. And because we are light of the world, we will keep shining. We cannot be hidden. And because we are salt of the earth, we make life tasty by what we bring to the table. And so if you are the kind of person that want to just do things on your own because you want to outsmart Chika to get first position, that's not the right attitude and the right mindset when it comes to the real life situation. Oh, come on. I just hope you are getting this thing, because until we get to understand the essence of collaboration, you don't need to antagonize people. Everybody doesn't need to like you. That's quite all right. But you just have to develop a character to sustain that which you are meant to become and multiply it. A lot of people get to the top, but few persons sustain it. That's why those people you've heard, you no longer hear about them. Why? They don't have the character to sustain it. And one of it is the character of collaboration. You are always fighting with people when you should be fighting for your dreams. And that's why in school, you're always carrying yourself higher than the rest, even when you can humble yourself to learn. And you know what makes you a student is your eagerness and your devotion to learn. And until you come into that point of humility, you will not have that open mind to explore the possibility. Sometimes you even close your doors by checking the demographics instead of the psychographics. You think because you are older than the person, you cannot swallow your pride to learn from that person. And if you are that kind of person, you are not a student. Because like I told you, a student is one that is eager. It is not the one in the university, it is not the one in primary school, it is not the one in secondary school. It is actually one who is eager and devoted to learn and study. So if you're not devoted to learn and study, you're not a student. As a matter of fact, the lady right in front of you are watching is a student for life. That is why every single day I show up in life unscripted, I am not the same Linda that you met yesterday. And of course, I'm not going to be the same person you are going to meet tomorrow. It's going to shock you because I come with improved fire, because I'm always a student for life. And that is what I recommend for you. If you want to see the light to actually collaborate with people, there is always the opportunity to develop the humility to learn from other people. That's where you give yourself an opportunity to collaborate, because that is why we close our doors without our consent. We need to actually pay attention to all of these things so that we will cancel out those programs and orientation that our foundation gave to us that is no longer working for us. That's why when you graduate, you are confused. It looks like you went to school. It's not the same thing. It's not synchronizing, because in the school of life, it demands that you collaborate, not that you compete. And even if you want to engage in competition that is healthy, it has to be you yourself. You are competing with your old self to always keep improving, because the more you improve, the more sight you get in order to explore more opportunities that are available for you. That's why you think these successful men are even luckier than you, because they were able to have that improved sight perception to be able to interpret and explore possibilities that are in front of them. But no, you won't explore that because you think it's enemies that are fighting you. They have to die for you to succeed. So today you will need to understand that you are called to dominate creatures, not creators. And so you need to be able to learn the collaborative spirit, the team spirit, because together everyone achieves more. You don't have to antagonize people, you don't have to hate them, you don't have to backfire them. The moment you know that you have the Holy Spirit and you know the power that dwells in you, the only thing you just have to do is believe and let it find expression. The moment it finds expression, those people that you are even trying to focus on fighting the enemies, they can't come closer to you. You won't focus on them anymore because you are too hot for them. So when you begin to focus on who you are becoming and what you are called to do, God has a way of setting you into a pace of understanding these are the people that you need for this journey. And when you focus on that, it expands and you begin to enjoy the abundance that dwells right here. So it is time for you to learn collaboration. It is time for you to, just as little as not eating together, praying together in the family has caused more harm to your life today. That's why you cannot, when you come to a company, you want to outsmart your team members, whereas you are meant to work in accordance with them to be able to produce more result. But you want to show that, yes, it's Linda that can do it more than anybody else. And at the end of the day, whoever that is taking the glory is the name of the company. And so it's time that we get used to understanding these things so that we can improve that collaborative spirit that is needed in life. Then when you understand this, even wherever are differences in where you are in your life, you need to be able to make conscious efforts. Do not blame anyone for what has happened. You have, because you know better now, you now have that obligation to actually make it right. That is what it means to actually break a bias. So you make deliberate conscious efforts and put that Put that into practice consistently so that you can be able to change the narrative. I hope this makes a lot of sense to you. And as you all know, this is going to happen throughout 2025. You know that your friend, your parents, your guardian that is trying to do a lot of things. You know, I have a lot of story to tell in Life Unscripted, and we are just getting started. Invite your friends and let them subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. If you are following on Facebook, click on the follow button. And if you want to have a conversation as we are building confident global champions, of course, hit the link in the description of my channel, or on Facebook, hit the link on my bio. Let's have that conversation and be able to change that narrative. Stop competing and fighting with people. Your fight is different, and you need to fight for your dreams. You need to fight for your dream by being in a better position to make, and not just make, to multiply it, because you are called to be fruitful, multiply, and subdue. I hope that make a lot of sense to you. So today, a lot of people started work today, and I hope you started with a good energy. And for you to sustain it, you have to be accountable, and you have to have an open mind to be able to learn. Every single place in your workplace is a learning platform for you. Always sap out, because you are a student for life. Until I come your way again in the next series of Life Unscripted, I still remain your friend and your go-to-get edupreneur and networking strategies, Mrs. Chiamaka Linda Vershima. And until then, do not forget that it is time for you to live a life you are proud of and not the one people recommend. Bye for now.